Okay, so a lot to cover with recently today. I want to get into that jam. That's the jam I took from Red Rocks back in the mid-2000s. I want to say it was 06, 07, somewhere around there. Might have been 04. But anyways, that's pretty close to a lot of the jams they used to do, and they really used to draw that out. So we'll get into that jam. It's a lot of fun to play. So let's get into the intro. So this is going to be one of those good old Dave Matthews chords. We're going to be at 10 on the E and the G, and then we'll stretch our forefinger over here to the 7th on the G on the D. Then all we're going to do is keep that forefinger there on the D. We're going to just move back down to the 8th and the 9th on the E and G. Then we're going to go back to that same chord that we just played. So it's going to be on the 7th on the E and the G, 4th on the D. Move right down to 5 and 6. Stretch out here like this. 2 and 3. We're on, I'm sorry, 3 and 4. We're on 2 with our forefinger still on the D. Make sure all the other strings are muted, including the A, B, E. Now we're going to come into the what will later on be the verse. He's not singing yet on this one. So when we go from there to there, then we slide on the A string from the 4th to the 5th, pinky to the 7th. Use your middle finger here. Like I said, I always like to teach these things this way because it gets your hand ready for the next movement. So middle finger to 4. From 4 to 5, then pinky on the 7th on the D. We're going to have an open D, come down here to D on 2. And then our pinky is going to be right here on the G4. Then we'll bring our, and then we'll be on the A string, 2nd fret there. And then, and then we'll have our pinky on the D string 4 there. And then we're going to end on an open G. Those are all down. I'm picking down on all those. So then once we get into the actual verse, when you start singing after that, so we're going to go 3rd fret E string, pinky on the G string 4th fret, and then it's going to be an open G. Then we're going to be on the 3rd fret D string, and we're going to be on the 5th fret G string. Then walk up to the 3rd fret A string, 5th fret D string. And then we're going to end again on an open G. So that whole part again. Go through that 4 times right there. Then we're going to put our middle finger and ring finger, or ring finger pinky finger, whichever feels best to you, on the D and the G strings on the 5th fret. We're going to slide down to the 3rd fret. And then take that ring finger off. We're going to put the forefinger on the 2nd fret G string. And then we're going to play the D and G open. Up here, middle finger, E string, 3rd fret. So play E. We're going to come down here to the 3rd fret A, slide up to 7. Then ring finger on the 8th on the E. And then we're going to play open D. So we go. then it goes back in. He goes through that 4 times before he starts singing. We start singing, it's recently have been all of content and dreaming I've been. And so he just keeps doing that, repeating that throughout that verse. So when we get into the chorus is going to be a lot of the same chords that we've already discussed. So on that intro, we went from here to here. Well, these last 4 chords are going to be what our chorus is. So the E and the G, and we're going to be here on the D on the 4th fret. So E, G, 7th fret. And we're sliding down here again. People stare and we just ignore. And when he says, what's the use in hiding out? What's the use? And so we're that same thing that we played in the intro. Then you play that and you're going to come back hiding out. So people stare and we just ignore. What's the use in hiding out? She says all the time, let their eyes do the worrying about it. It's the same as that intro, the intro that we just played, okay? And then we're going to do the... he just goes back through that again. So before they go into the jam, sorry, I had to think there for a second. Before they go into the jam, they're going to be doing that same thing that we just worked on a minute ago, but it's going to be 2 parts this time. So it's going to go. Okay, so we're going to E, 3rd fret, open A. And then 3rd fret A, and then an open D, and then back to that E string on the 3rd fret. And then we're going to slide up what we just learned a second ago. Okay, so you can watch that up close real quick. Alright, and then that's going to be before, it's kind of a little break before we go into this the little jam section. So when we get into the little jam part of it, there's a few parts that I want to teach you here. We're going to be on the 3rd fret E string, 4th fret G string. Down, up, down. So I'm strumming that E. And that's it's going to be a quick little slide up. We're on the 2nd and the 4th on the D and the G. We're going to slide up and back. We're going to the 3rd and 5th and back. Then we're just going to come up 1 string on both of those. Do it again. So that's, okay, so you don't come back on that one, sorry. You come back on that one, this one just slides up. And then you go through that 4 times, and then we're gonna go, all I did was open E string, 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd. Okay, and then they get more into it after that. They go through that a few times. Then we're gonna be doing that same thing. Then we're gonna come down here, and this is where they have kind of stop timing. We're gonna play this chord. We're just gonna hit it once, and all that is the A and the G string on 12. 4 fingers gonna be on the 11th, or the 12th fret down here. A and G. And then our 4 fingers will be right here on the D string on the 11th. Okay, so like I said, he keeps going through all that right there. You're not doing this time. Instead of that, we're coming down here and doing that. So then they go through it again, and this is where they're all taking turns. It's like Boyd plays a little bit, Leroy plays a little bit, and so on. So then you're going to come back down here, hit it twice, go back through this again. Then you're going to come back here, hit it 3 times, come back down here, play this again 4 times. And on that the fourth time they go through it, you're going to keep that same shape, but you're going to press down with that ring finger. You're going to flatten out those last 3 strings, okay? And that's what he's strumming. So he goes, sorry. 1, 2, 3. And then once they get into that fast part, and we're going to go. And all that is a bunch of octaves. We've got 3 and 5 on the E and the D. Then we're going to come down here to just an E chord, and you don't even have to flat, you can just play, because we're only going to be hitting an open E string and the A string on the 2nd fret. Then we're going to have another octave on 1 and 3. So we're just hitting the E string, D string, E string, A string, E string, D string, E string, D string, back up here to 2 and 4. Sorry, when I told you it's the D string, I'm sorry, it's not the A string down here. It's then you go through that 3 or 4 times. You'll have to listen to it. Then he comes up here to 6, 8, 6, 8, still those octaves, and then just walks it down. 5, 7, 4, 4, 6, 3, 5, and then goes back to that. Okay, and then for the very ending, and then we'll be an octave here on the A and G strings, and we're just going to walk it down to, we'll go 7, 9, 5, 5, 7, 3, 5. Might be, I can't remember right there. I got to end this video here, but listen for that. Might have been a little off on that one. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.